Welcome back to Doctor Who Fights. You read the title? Let's jump right into Victory of the Daleks. Now in this story, Amy not knowing who the Daleks are kind of gives the Moffat era this whole new universe sort of feel. The Doctor starts to realize that Professor Bracewell's inventions might not be his own ideas, and it's really cool to see Matt Smith lean into this more badass side when he's confronting this Dalek about what war they're really trying to fight. There's a sense of urgency with the showing off and exposition. It's not as engaging as when I was a kid with some of the forgettable technobabble about the Daleks surviving through this pro-generator device. It is cool to see the Doctor and the Daleks sort of match each other's grittiness at times. The episode balances that juxtaposed with the Professor kind of having to tap into his human range of emotions to defuse this bomb. By all means, this is a very filler Doctor Who episode. But yes, I thought Matt Smith was absolutely the action hero we needed in this episode, especially just rewatching it at 5 a.m. But realistically, it feels like only 3 things happened in this story, and it skews that to a sense of heroism on the characters. And even rewatching Into the Dalek right after, before the title sequence, there's already so many more ideas being introduced in that story. Just like the vibe of Into the Dalek was the perfect type of story for Capaldi to really show off his earlier character development. Same with Clara's role as a teacher, slapping Capaldi. Juxtaposed with how Matt Smith and Karen Gillan are made to feel very heroic by this story, both are pretty effective. Up next we have the Macra Terror. I freaking love the Macra Terror. It shows us a futuristic utopia where there's an underlying fear that something's not right. I really appreciated the level of detail that they put into some of the dialogue with the world building and the thoughtfulness of the second Doctor. Ben gets possessed by control gas while the Doctor's trying to be a catalyst for change, so Ben reports the Doctor. The subplot with Medoc pretty much trying to break free really gave me Vengeance on Varos vibes and is one of the best side character subplots that I've seen in 60s or classic Doctor Who. The suspense of Polly being grabbed by a Macra is the perfect level of cheesiness and seriousness. It happens to Jamie actually more times. Ben lies about seeing the Macra because he's that possessed. The controller of the colony is only a picture, so the group demands to see who the actual controller is. Turns out that he is being held hostage by the Macra. It's kind of a Wizard of Oz behind the curtain type of homage. One criticism I have, the reveal of Ben being under control gas, it was very early on, and instead of saying it right out loud, you could have had the audience just piece that together themselves by episode 3 that he was under this control. It would have been more suspenseful if the audience could have figured that out for themselves. Ben being under control kind of reminds me of Polly being kind of identified, processed as a chameleon in The Faceless Ones. The animation really brings style and substance as it is a great eerie atmosphere. I also love how in episodes like this or the Moon Base, where not only Ben, Polly, and Jamie get a lot to do, but also the Doctor gets to use some mathematical, scientific sort of explanations that gives the show a little bit of absurd realism. I like some of the cheerleading from the sidecast. There's a funny line about it by the second Doctor. And yeah, for what it was, Macra Terror was an amazing 4-parter. I've wanted to review the missing animated stories for like 4 years now. I'm so happy that that is a goal checked off. I don't know which one I like more, Macra Terror or Abominable Snowman, but I have rewatched Macra Terror more, so Macra Terror absolutely wins this TV fights. Thank you guys for tuning in. See you guys in the next one.